That was some great racing. I don't know about you, but that was some great racing. Hey, what's up guys, it's Sam here. How are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today, we're going to be doing RaceInformer for Richmond. The Richmond race happened this week, and it was pretty boring for most of it, but let's get into some news. So some news that came out today. I know that this video is coming out late, but it happened last week. It's still Tuesday when it comes out, so that's all right. AJ Allmendinger is now leaving the 47 that was announced today. I'm not sure where he'll be going. I'll probably make another silly season video soon, but I have an idea where I think you might be going, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'll probably be making a silly season video within the next month. So look out for that. We have Noah Gragson. He's announced that he's going to the Xfinity car for Junior Motorsports in the number 1, replacing Elliott Sadler at the end of this season. And also, we have announced that Ryan Newman will be going to the 6 car for Roush Fenway Racing. All right, now let's get to this week's race at Richmond. So the Richmond race was pretty boring for most of the race. There was, towards the end, it got pretty good, but most of the race, it was relatively boring. I probably could have taken a good nap, but I didn't. Kevin Harvick was on pole. He started on pole for the race, but he did not lead too much at the beginning. Martin Truex Jr. took the lead pretty quickly, and he dominated a lot of the race. He led the most laps. And then on the first stage, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he went to pit, and when he was coming out of pit road, Ricky Stenhouse and Denny Hamlin were pretty close, and Denny Hamlin got turned around. He almost went all the way around, but he was actually able to save it, which is pretty cool because then there was no caution. I wish there was, but not much happened. Truex would go on to dominate most of the race. He led a lot of the laps until one stop under caution when he got an uncontrolled tire penalty. It wasn't really an uncontrolled tire. I mean, you guys know I don't like Truex, and I still think that penalty was not reasonable. And I don't even like Truex, and I'm saying that. In my opinion, an uncontrolled tire penalty is if it goes out of the box, and that's always the way it's been. If it goes out of the box, it's an uncontrolled tire penalty. It's also equipment leaving the box penalty, and likely pit crew member leaving the box too, because they'll have to go get that. And that also caused a caution. It was under caution anyway, but it caused a caution. I don't like Truex, but I think that was an unreasonable penalty. I mean, it was pretty controlled. He wasn't touching it. But I mean, he easily got it back in his control. It didn't go out of the pit box. I think it's a stupid penalty. But it was Martin Truex Jr. He got a penalty. He wasn't able to win the race. I'm not going to complain about that. Final stage started out pretty boring. Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott were battling for the lead for a lot of that. Chase Elliott led some laps. Brad Keselowski led a lot of laps into the final stage. There was some green flag pit stops that happened towards the end of the first long run in the final stage. Kyle Busch ended up taking the lead coming out of that, which is pretty cool. And then there was a caution for Jeffrey Earnhardt. Jeffrey Earnhardt went around after racing hard with Matt Kenseth, and that caused a restart to happen. Now, this restart is where the racing actually really started pulling off. I was on the edge of my seat the entire final run of the race. I was wondering if there was going to be a caution the entire time, and there wasn't. I was excited the entire final stage because Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch were racing side by side together. Brad Keselowski would pull away, Kyle Busch would start to pull away, then they'd come back together, and it ended up being really cool. So Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick would be racing pretty hard towards the end of the race. Kevin Harvick looked like he might be able to track him down with 5 to 10 more laps, but Kyle Busch ended up being able to pull away, and Kyle Busch ended up winning the race, which is awesome. 7th win of the season. Technically, he has the most wins because of Kevin Harvick's encumbered Las Vegas win, but they are tied for wins because Kevin Harvick still has the trophy for that, which is a rule I agree with. They should keep the trophy. They should just get the points taken away. But yeah, Brad Keselowski ended up finishing 9th place out of that race. Kind of sucks to see that he fell back after racing so hard. Seems like all of his effort was for nothing. As we look in the driver standings coming out of Richmond, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, and Martin Truex Jr. are all locked in. Jr. ended up locking himself in on points. Kevin Harvick is pretty much locked in. If he starts the Roval, he's locked in. If he doesn't race the Roval, he's not locked in, but all he has to do is race the Roval, which he's going to do. So he's locked in too. Unless if some crazy thing happens that he dies in the next 2 days, he will be racing the Roval. And I mean, if he gets an injury, not too far-fetched because the Roval seems like a crazy track. Something could happen in practice. Something could happen, but Kevin Harvick's going to race. He's into the next round. Then we have Logano, Almirola, Kyle Larson, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, Alex Bowman, and Ryan Blaney, who are in the top 12 right now. And then outside of the cut line is Clint Bowyer, Jimmy Johnson, Eric Jones, and Denny Hamlin. Clint Bowyer's only 4 points out of the cut line. I can see him probably getting himself back in. Ryan Blaney, I doubt that he'll be in. Alex Bowman also had a wreck in the testing at the Roval, so I'm not really sure. But we'll talk more about that one in the next episode of RaceInformer. But yeah, if you guys like this video, please leave a like on it. If you doesn't like this video, please leave a dislike and a hate comment telling me exactly what I did wrong. Be sure to subscribe and turn notifications. And as always, bye, buddy rabbits.